So during this extended period of time at home, my family has been enjoying some amazing homemade meals that I'm very grateful for, but there is one meal I miss very dearly, and that is sushi. After asking my dad if he could make sushi for like 2 weeks straight and successfully annoying him, he decided to text my cousin who works at a sushi shop asking how to make it, and he basically said to Google it. We did, and we tried it out, and it actually worked. We were like so surprised by how easy it was and how good it was. And I mean, it was easy to get like a decent result because sushi from restaurants is still way better. Like, they are the kings and queens of sushi, like, don't get me wrong. But I was so happy to have an alternative, and I posted this photo on my Instagram story. You should go follow me, by the way. And my friend Tori, shout out to Tori, suggested I make a video about it, and I thought, hey, that could be fun, so here we are. If you've never seen my videos before, hi, I'm Zoe, and I never do cooking videos, but I thought this would be different, so I hope you enjoy anyways. Also, please don't roast me if I did something wrong or you have a better recipe, because we just tried to do our best. Special shout out to my dad for filming this video, by the way. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. In this video, I'm going to be making shrimp tempura, so for that you'll need sushi rice, panko Japanese breadcrumbs, rice vinegar, which my dad prepared in advance, so it is made with 200 grams of rice vinegar, 90 grams of sugar, 20 grams of salt, and then you put a small piece of seaweed in it to soak for several hours in advance of cooking, shrimp, nori, avocado, cucumber, and then we have a bowl here, but we also used a lot of other equipment that isn't in the picture, but you'll see everything eventually. So the first thing we did is pour 500 milliliters of the sushi rice, and we put that into a strainer. And the first thing you have to do with the rice is actually like wash out all the starch, because that makes the rice better for sushi. So you have to rinse it with cold water, and it was really cold on my hands. You can see them get progressively more pink, and you want to make sure that like the stream of water from the sink is not touching the rice directly, because if the water like hits it directly, it could break the sushi, and it could also make it release more starch than we want, because there's, I don't know, I guess like a middle ground that you want to reach. So I just rinsed it out with a strainer like as a first step, and then when I was done that, I put it into this big bowl, and then I did the same thing. I poured water into the bowl, and I poured it like onto the side so that I wasn't touching any of the rice, and then I mixed it around with my hands, and you can see that the water is like getting cloudy, so that is all the starch coming out, so it means I'm doing a good job. And we have to do this 8 times for the water to get clear and like for all the starch that you want to get out. So yeah, it was really cold. I recommend if you have someone else doing this with you, like take turns. And yeah, we just did this 8 times until the water was all clear. So once we were done washing out the rice, we put it back into the strainer and left it in the sink to kind of dry up. And while we left it there, we kind of started on the other stuff like the cucumbers, the avocado, and all that. But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna like show all the sushi parts and then all the other parts, just so that it's like kind of logical. So the next step we had to do for the rice was fill up 600 milliliters of cold water again, and then we poured it into this pot. And then you put the rice in there too, and you just let it sit for 30 minutes until the rice becomes more opaque. So again, like during this 30 minutes, you can go ahead and like prep all the other ingredients that you want to put in your sushi. So after it sits for 30 minutes, I turned the burner onto medium heat, and I put the pot on the burner with the rice inside, and I covered it up, and I left it there for 9 minutes. And then after 9 minutes, I turned the burner onto high, and I left that for 4 minutes. And then after 4 minutes, I turned the burner off, and I let the rice just sit there and kind of cool off for 15 minutes, but you want to keep the lid still on. So after that, I took off the lid, and I started like kind of scooping the rice into this dish. And something that I messed up with is that you're not supposed to like take the rice from the bottom, because it might be burnt. So you just want to kind of like scrape off the edges of the rice and get everything that's on top. So once all the rice that you've gotten from the pot is in the dish, you can pour the rice vinegar that we prepared, and you want to just like pour it all over the rice and then kind of like mix it in. And then once that is done, you can just wet a towel with warm water and then wring it out, and then just cover the rice in, or like cover the dish with the towel while you do like the other stuff until you're ready to actually like make the sushi rolls. Moving on to the other ingredients, this is way simpler than the rice. So starting with the cucumber, I just peeled it, and then I cut it in half, and I cut it in quarters, and then I like cut off all the seeds from the cucumbers. And then with the quarters, I cut them into little pieces. My dad calls them matchsticks. And then with those matchsticks, I cut them into even smaller matchsticks. Moving on to the avocado, I only used half an avocado, so I cut that into half, and then I cut those halves into halves, so like quarters. And then with each quarter, I kind of made slices. Like I didn't actually cut them, I just made slices with the knife of the pieces of avocado that we're gonna use later. And they look kind of bruised, but my mom approved them, so it's okay. Now I'm starting on the shrimp tempura, which is like the best part, obviously, because it's like the star of the show. So I'm taking a tablespoon of butter and then melting that in the microwave. Then I cracked 1 egg into a bowl and I whisked it. Okay, whisked is such a weird word to say, whisked. I'm having trouble. Then I poured the panko Japanese breadcrumbs onto a plate, and then I poured the butter onto the panko and I mixed them all together with a fork. I also cut the tails off my shrimp because I just did not want that in my sushi. And then I made this kind of assembly line type of thing. So I had the sushi and I dipped it into the egg, and then I covered it in the breadcrumbs, and they kind of like, it's kind of hard for them to stick on. So I covered it like a bunch of times, and then I left it on this rack, which we are going to put in the oven. And then of course I just repeated that with all the other shrimp, and it was actually kind of fun. My oven was at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so we put them in. We didn't like set a timer. We just kind of monitored them through the like door and checked to see when they were golden. So we just ended up taking it out at a random time, but they looked so beautiful and golden. So we are finally at the last step, and probably the step that you were all waiting for. So I took one of the like nori papers, those are like the seaweed, and I put it on the cutting board and I spread the rice onto it. And you want to leave half an inch of room at the bottom and 1 inch of room at the top, and just make sure that you spread the rice all the way to the sides, like get in all the edges. And then you can start putting your ingredients on the rice. So I started with my cucumbers and I just put them in a row. And then I put the avocado on top of that because you want all your ingredients to go one on top of the other. And then I also put some shrimp. So I had room for like quite a few cucumbers and like 3 pieces of avocado, or 4, and then like 3 shrimp. And then you just want to roll it super tight. We actually like made 2 rolls. I only showed the first one here. My first one was not as tight as the second one. So yeah, you just want to really like squeeze it. And this is like essentially what will make or break your sushi. So you don't want to like throw all that hard work away. So you really want to make sure that it is tight. And then use a very sharp knife to cut it into pieces. Again, this is up to you. You can make them really small, you can make them really big, just however you like your sushi. So this is how mine turned out. This is the whole plate. They were so good. I literally love sushi, and I'm so happy that this recipe worked out. If you ever make sushi on your own, please DM me or comment down below, send me pictures, whatever. That would honestly make my day. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up and comment something down below, because I'll reply to you. And of course, subscribe to my channel. Here's me attempting to take a thumbnail and my dad trying to be a prankster in the background and putting my dog in it. But yeah, that is all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!